Hello and welcome back to take 59 of this video. You don't know that, but I do. I'm out of practice. I haven't shot a video in a week. But today's a beautiful Tuesday, late September 2024. I haven't shot a video because I've been sitting around trying to allow my foot to heal. Well, I'm not even good at sitting around, to be honest with you. The last video I shot was mounting up one of my new Race Star double beadlock wheels and an ancient Mickey Thompson 33/18/515 ET Street tire. They're at least 15 years old, as near as we can calculate. I just want them mounted up for mock-up. In the video, the one I mounted up, I found it had a hole in the tread, a pinhole. So the next day, I'm out here resting. What better to do when you've hurt yourself messing with tires is to continue mess with tires. First thing you have to do when you unpackage, the Race Star company does a beautiful job packaging, and take out the nut and bolt bag. There's no nuts, just bolts and washers, I should say. Nut and bolt rolls off the tongue. I make that mistake every now and then, that and about 1,000 other mistakes. I try to fix it in the editing, or lack thereof, but I caught that one. Because trust me, 2 years from now, somebody's going to send me a message, which I don't mind, and say, hey, did you mean this or this? On, on the 10-minute mark of whatever video I shot 3 or 4 years ago. And I'm okay with that. If I put a mistake out there and you catch it, feel free to comment, because at least every video has 1 or 2 mistakes. Not on purpose, but it happens. So anyway, I found I had 1 damaged bolt and too many of one style washer and not enough of the other. So the next day I called Race Star. Kind of glad I did. In the other video, I said I was disappointed that the wheels were manufactured in China. Well, the nice lady that I talked to at Race Star, she was the only one in the building that day, she said. She was pretty busy, but she was very friendly and explained that the fusion welding, it's a 1-piece billet wheel. It's actually 2 pieces. They weld it. Some fusion process, space age, and the China space program welds them for them, I guess. I don't know. They want to move it back over here to this part of the earth eventually, but currently that's the only place on earth they could find to do that process. So, there's certainly no quality problem with the wheels. They're beautiful. You see them on all kinds of high-end cars. If that sounded like just sometimes when you're just shooting from the cuff, as they say, you say things, and I'm never bashful to discuss where something is made and how it makes me feel. In a perfect world, everything would be made in here, right? I guess in the United States, because I live in the United States. But anyway, super nice lady. So she said she would. It was too late in the day, so 2-day AME, 2 more bolts, and enough washers to straighten it all out that I'd end up having a spare, which I have. But me being me, genius, right? I said, can I just buy another bag of hardware? So I'll have it for spares, because down the road, if you only have 1 of everything, you're going to lose it, and it's pretty unique. I mean, I haven't checked McMaster car and stuff if I can get a stainless concave and convex washer exactly like this one. The bolt I'm pretty sure I could find, but either way, I said, if you're going to send stuff anyway, meaning, because she said they hand count every every bolt and washer, and they made a mistake, no big deal. So seeing as how she was sending me stuff anyway, I thought on her dime, I'll just buy a bag of hardware, right? Well, it's not the way it worked out. It's okay. Once again, I don't want to sound disappointed, but what I got was my missing parts, plus the hardware bag for one side of the wheel, so it's only 19 bolts and 19 of each washer. And then I paid the shipping. So this 19 bolts and washers, that's $78. But I have them now, so someday when I need them, because I've lost my extra one, priceless. They're very specific on the type tightening procedure. They give you a little chart, it's like, talking down a cylinder head, and what equipment to use. I was going to use my drill anyway. I have a adapter for a 3/8 socket, and I wasn't going to torque them. I'm only wrist tight, and I did that with my ratchet. Same socket, obviously. It is a 5/16 12 point. And in the final tightening procedure, they want you to go crisscross. I did that at first, and then I found the fact that there's 19 bolts is kind of interesting, and it took me a couple of rounds to figure this out. I was just gently skipping every other one because it's an odd number. Every 2 passes, you've done them all without changing your pattern. You just keep skipping one and kind of easing the bolts down. And again, every time you've gone around twice, you've got them all because it's an odd number. If it was even number, you'd have to, physically stop and move to the, whatever. So it actually works out when you get in a rhythm. Again, I'm just going, barely making them tight and just gradually sinking the bead down. You have the bead bundle, they call it. Varies by tire manufacturer, so you really need to measure what the wheel has available for the gap when the ring's already down tight, and how thick the bead bundle is. You want it probably 100 to 125 thousandths more than the gap that you have. And in this case, I could just barely start the bolts, which was about right. So no issue there. And it made me think, how much information do you need to know? And sometimes the manufacturers aren't always forthcoming. In this case, brand new wheels out of the box. They tell you what they want you to know. But speaking of drag slicks, like for instance, a Goodyear Eagle drag slick has a serial number on it. Kind of looks like a DOT number, but it's not. Same, looks like a stamped number. And they have to face a certain direction. I believe, and you'll have to look it up for yourself, if you're sitting in the driver's seat, I believe the rears have to face to the right. So that means the tires are not going to be mounted the same way. And the front runners, Goodyear, the serial numbers have to face the other way. You have to look that up. Don't quote me on which direction, but it matters. But they don't tell you why it matters. I wish I knew. Because a lot of people I know will turn the tires around and run them the other way every other week or something on the car. Goodyear's telling you it has to go one way, but they don't tell you why. And to find this information, when you buy a Goodyear Eagle Slick and it comes to you, there's no information on it that I've ever seen that tells you that. But I happened to be told by the Goodyear tire guy at the races. He was mounting them up and he explained it to me. So as far as Mickey Thompson and Hoosier, I don't know. My Hoosiers, I just put them on the way I thought they ought to go. And I only ever had Goodyear Eagle and Hoosier. I've never run a set of Mickey Thompsons, so I know a lot of people swap those around, but a lot of times there's more information out there that you don't have. Not sure how relevant it is, but if a manufacturer goes out of the way to say something like that, I wish they would at least explain why. And now let's talk about this horrific piece of junk I bought on eBay. While sitting around feeling sorry for myself, I knew these existed. Probably should have shopped up a better one. Everybody sells pretty much the same one. So I spent $50. It took a week to get here. And here it is. Again, I watched a few videos. I tried to get the one that had an actual gauge that read in PSI. And the one I bought, it was, advertised that it did, but it doesn't. So it does have, green, yellow, and red. So as long as you keep it in the green, I guess, it's okay. Now, what's not okay about this thing is, one, the big valve leaks. Not too bad, but it leaks. The threads are so thin on it, and the pipe thread is so not pipe thread, that this is as tight as I could get it. It was loose up to the point it was tight, and this little thing really needs to be horizontal with the valve. The valve's about right. This thing's crooked. You can see it. And I've had a 3-foot pipe wrench on it and it's not going anywhere. The thread for the gauge and the safety valve, which I'm sure is trustworthy, is supposed to be 1/4-inch pipe, but the fittings go all the way in. Like it's a nut with no nylock in it. Pipe thread should not be like that. Pipe thread seals on the threads, not by bottoming it out. But they don't seem to leak. I bottomed them out because what choice do I have? The valve I was able to salvage, the one that fills it, but the connector they give you goes to no air hose I've ever seen, at least on this side of the planet. So I got it all put together, and I got my other, wheel and tire it's a Mickey Thompson Sportsman with a really stiff sidewall on a 14-inch rim. It's got to jump up about 3 inches to bead up. This thing will make it bounce. I wore hearing protection. I'm not sure which made me feel safer. If I just hose myself down with starting fluid and lit myself on fire, or putting 100 and something pounds in this thing, because this thing's a bomb. Now, maybe someday I will master and it'll actually work. I tried it 3 or 4 times this morning. I wasn't too enthusiastic about it. Now that I've used it a couple times, I felt a little better about the program. You kind of gotta hold it and it doesn't balance, and it's a horrendous piece of junk. If you're looking for one of these, don't buy this one. I'd gladly pay extra and probably throw this in the iron dumpster. I guess I could return it, but that's probably a hassle too. So I have a few days to figure that out. I have to take it all back apart, I guess, and jam it back in the box, which is right there. So it is just a piece of junk. They should be ashamed. I think the tank itself, hopefully, is, not a weapon, but I don't trust anything about it. If it popped the bead right on, at least I'd say I accomplished something, but it just bounced up and down and wasn't even close to going up there and I was right on the edge of the green and the yellow, whatever that is. So, to use it, you hook your shop air to it, you turn the valve on, you watch the gauge, hoping it doesn't explode in your face. Close the valve, this thing's hissing because it leaks, and then you go over, set it on the bead, but because of the way it is, it's really awkward. I guess if I was left-handed, maybe. Yeah. Well, all right. Gotta go catch a school bus. Hope your day is a really good one. Take her easy.